just, this is killing me. Look, it's growing. Help, please help. Let's see what this episode brings. Roll the intro. Hi everyone, my name's Leslie Ann. All my friends like to shorten it to LA, so please do feel free to call me LA. Welcome back to Purls with a Twist. This is my little fiber studio where I like to drop in on you, and I'd say monthly. I like to try every 2 weeks, but life just tends to get in the way. So I will give it my best shot to do every 2 weeks, but it's probably going to be monthly during the summer. This is where I hang out, do some knitting and spinning, and then also I do some dyeing, but that's out in my little dye studio where I've taken over half of the garage. Yeah, it's a rabbit hole. I have some updates. So apparently I'm a vest person. I have knit 2 vests since we last chatted. And wait for it. I knit my first pair of socks. I don't know if you guys know from the first few episodes where I swore up and down I was not a sock knitter. Well, now I am, and I can kind of understand now why people who knit socks like to really chatter about it. It's fun. And yeah, I loved it. Somehow they fit. I can do better, but they fit really well. Meanwhile, I have one sweater that is in hibernation and another one that is heading to the frog pond, unfortunately, due to a pattern and yarn difference in opinion. Sad. So grab a beverage, cheers, and let's talk about what's working, what's not, things that are getting frogged, and some questionable decisions that were made along the way. All right, cheers. Right, well, first off, as you can see here on Evie, we have finished the Hame Camisole by Caidree. I spoke about this in my last episode. This is made with Cardiff Cashmere. I work in a yarn shop, and my boss was lovely and kind enough to give us a gift certificate for Christmas, and this is what I put mine towards. It's a nice little treat. So yeah, she is finished. I did go ahead, since the last time I chatted with y'all, I did go ahead and tink back all of the I-cord edging. It was definitely gaping. I might actually put up a comparison shot right here to show you. I gained like inches worth of a V-neck and armhole space from just redoing the I-cord edging. I upped the needle size and just really paid attention to staying nice and relaxed while I was doing it. As I mentioned in the last episode, I also did do a false seam on the side, doing a purl knit within all the stockinette, and it just is a little extra decorative thing. Supposedly it might add a little structure. I'm not so sure about that, but it's pretty. And I did finish it off with a folded waistband, and it's really pretty. It's so soft, and it's just lovely. Now, having said all that, and I do love it, I now understand why people think it's crazy to knit a tank top in a cashmere. I mean, I see this being so useful, maybe, possibly, in the fall, but it's a little bit on the big side for me, and so part of me is, since it's such a lovely yarn, part of me is contemplating tinking it back, not tinking it, frogging it completely, and doing a mock turtleneck for the fall, so that it's actually more of a fall transition into winter thing, because I put it on for one day so far this spring. We haven't even gotten up to 74 until just now, and it's still a little warm to be wearing. Don't forget, I am a lady who is going into the season of the Perry. And anyways, so yeah, that might or might not be happening. I'm going to give it a few more goes. I'm not going to jump on that right now. I do have an extra ball of the Cardiff Classic, just in case I do decide to go down that route. So that should give me plenty. There is a new, I think it's a new My Favorite Things knitwear pattern that I'm considering doing, and I'll put that up here, which I think would just look absolutely lovely in this yarn and just work better. The yarn and the garment would make a little bit more sense. So we might as well jump ahead. Yes, I know you're all seeing it. It is another Sophie Scarf. I did have to make another one, but it was all in the name of making it for my mom. She had seen me wearing my own Sophie Scarves around, and she absolutely loved it. And one day she's just giggling around saying that she would really love one of these small little scarves. So for Mother's Day, I went ahead and knit her one up. And This is made with Madeline Tosh DK. And I'm so sorry, but I don't remember the colorway right now. So all that information, of course, will be on the screen at this point of time. But I don't remember offhand. But what I love about it is I had originally dyed her a set of yarn to make a shawl. And she just decided she didn't want to make it. So, and I don't have the time in my knitting schedule to do that for her. But these show all the colors that I had originally dyed her fade in. And I saw this colorway and just went, okay, this is perfect. She gets kind of what she wants, but it's in a little small scarf. No one has to knit it. So that will just have to do for right now, and she loves it, and I'm so glad. And I borrowed it back so I could show it to y'all, but now I'm going to give it back to her. And yeah, let's go ahead and get Evie through a wardrobe change, and I will be right back. So moving right along, we are to the my favorite things knitwear vest number 8, which was a whip in last episodes. It was a little tiny whip. It didn't even it was embarrassing for Evie to wear. Let's just go with that. She was embarrassed. But now it is a completed object, and I love it so much. It is such a great little vest, and the color, so I went with Knitting for Olive, Merino, and the soft silk mohair, both in the colorway Oatmeal, and this goes with everything. I mean, this colorway just goes with everything. I'm just showing you with the t-shirt because this is what I wear it with a lot, just because it's nice and easy to throw on and run out the house, but I love it. I am a combination knitter, which kind of explains the Purls with a twist thing. If you're a combination knitter, you kind of understand that when you do the combination purl side of things, you actually twist your stitches. So when you come back around, you have to go in through the back loop. This was the first time I had done a twisted rib and in the flat. And it kind of actually threw me for a loop, but just because of things are already twisted when I knit. And so I had to figure out, well, wait. Is it twisted? Do I need to twist it, untwist it? What are we doing here? Is there too much twist going on? So that kind of, that was fun, but I figured it out. I did have to frog tink back a little bit once or twice, but I got it sorted. And it's so pretty. I do really like the twisted rib. It's nice and clean. As I mentioned in my previous episode, which I'll link up here somewhere in case you want to go back to that, I did force myself to do all this cabling without the use of a cable needle. I just didn't want to be fiddling about with that, so it seemed to go okay. I actually really enjoyed it, and having the mohair helped it so that if I got a little bit fuddly-wuddly with dropping things, the stitch still held its form, and I was very easily able to pick it back up. Let's see, what else to say about this? Oh, the pattern actually has a 4th button, but I didn't like it, and so I went with the 3 buttons. I do need to move where I sewed my buttons on, because I feel like if I move the button over a little bit, it'll be a little less gaping that you can currently see. But other than that, I'm really happy with the fit and the color, and I highly recommend the pattern. I didn't go with as much positive ease as was suggested in the pattern, and I'm glad that I went with what I went with. I think I sized down 1 size, so a little less positive ease. But yeah, so there you have it. My favorite things knitwear, vest number 8. In the mood for another vest? All right, so this technically isn't a finished object, but I was just so excited about it, and I'm so close, and I have weaved in all the ends. So the only thing that's not on here is the buttons, but this is the tailored vest by Hinterstein. I will have that information up here for you. This is an absolutely amazing pattern. I want to say I shit you not, but it is really good pattern. It was so clear. There was, you know, when you're reading a pattern and sometimes you're like, okay, I understand what you're asking me to do, but I don't understand why you're asking me to do it. She's really good at showing you why everything's occurring, and it was just so easy to read, and there were so many options for tailoring. So you could do waist shaping in 3 or 4 different ways. You could intermix the ways between the increases and the decreases. There was bust art shaping. I have a hair in my eye. There was bust shaping. It's just incredible. So I was off on my row gauge, which in a pattern like this where there is shaping going on is kind of a big thing. So I really had to check in with where I was in my rows versus and my length versus what she was suggesting as far as starting your, for joining in the sleeves, starting the waist shaping, the bust shaping. So I had to do a lot of math, but I think it worked out great. I planned on wearing it closed most of the time, actually, it's just, oh, it's so cute. And look at this. Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it's just so cute. And I already have the buttons that I ordered off of Etsy. Shoot, I will have to look, but they're really cute. They're just, can you see that without me in the picture? I don't know, but they're mother of pearl, and just kind of envisioning that, and it's so classy, and I picture it with jeans, skirts, linen pants, just like a little pretty delicate pearl necklace right here. Oh, I'm so excited. And this seed stitch it just reminded me of pearls and the color. Oh, and the yarn. So I knit this up in Juniper Moon Cotton Plus Merino in the colorway Chalk. And when I originally did it, I just couldn't hit gauge no matter what. So I did decide to hold it together with Yarn Citizen Trinity Cashmere in the colorway Jasmine. And it did create an ever so slight marline effect, but it kind of basically created the mother of pearl look. So I really think everything worked out great, and the fit is just divine. That's it for the button, and I love it. I really do love it, and I'm so excited. I will put the buttons on tonight. I will most likely be wearing this in my next episode. If not, that's because it's hot. But it's really, I don't think it should be too bad. I mean, there is cashmere in it, and there is merino in it, but I think if I have a fan on, I'll be fine. So yeah, the tailored vest by Hinthram Stein. And I don't know why she isn't more popular, you guys, because this is a well thought out pattern, a very well fitting pattern. You can adapt it to your own body shape, and I can't say enough about this pattern. This was a joy to knit, and I will be knitting more of these, and I will be exploring other yarns to do it in. So tailored vest. All right, now we're to the final FO, if you will, and I'm super excited about these. So I don't know, for those of you who have been with me for the last 3 episodes, I have mentioned, especially in my first episode where I talked about everything I knit since I started knitting, I had mentioned that I really I didn't foresee myself being a big sock knitter, and more so of a fingerless glove knitter as far as the small circumference knitting. However, I work at a yarn shop, and it was one of my colleagues did design the pattern for the local yarn shop tour that we have here in the Puget Sound, and it just occurred about 2 weeks ago. And so I offered as a non-sock knitter to test out her pattern, and it is called the Pine Square. I think it's the Pine Square socks, and they're super cute. They have this adorable texture. Let's see if I can get it at all to show right here. It is a cuff down sock starting with, your regular 1.5" ribbing. And then it goes into this crisscross stitch pattern that goes all the way down to the heel. The heel is a modified shadow wrap heel. And then goes down. You have your crisscross stitch along the top. And then you've got your stockinette. And it is a rounded toe, which is basically completed just like you would close up a hat. It was so easy. It was such a great pattern, and I had so much fun knitting it. I used West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in the colorway. I'll have it up here. Cardamom, I think. I had a blast. Now, I say they fit. They do fit. They actually fit. I definitely will be going down. I think I did this in a 2.5, so I will definitely be going down in needle size for my next pair of socks, which I already have the yarn for, because, yeah, that happened, and now I love them. they're such a great project to transport around with you. And, I just love them. So yeah, my first pair of socks, and I'm just really excited. These have to go back to the shop as samples, but I borrowed them for a couple days so I could show you on the podcast. And then they will go back to the shop for a while. But I'm just super excited. I'm so glad I got the opportunity to do it, because then I just found out something new that I love to make. All right, so that is it for finished objects. So next, let's move on to whips, and there's a lot to talk about. Okay, so to start out our whip section, we are just going to quickly skim over the Weekender. I deep dived into that in the last episode and discussed how I'm kind of in a holding pattern because the armholes, which is a known thing for Andrea Mowry patterns, they're just too tight. So, and also I wasn't a big fan, it's the Weekender light. I wasn't a big fan of where it was hitting on my neck. However, seeing as I was knitting on that during a season change, I decided to go ahead and hibernate it, and I will pull it back out, I'm guessing in about 6 weeks. Late summer is probably, I'll wrap that one up real quick. And I have decided I will be frogging it back and dropping the short rows in the front and increasing the armhole depth by knitting for longer before I do the bind off for the shoulders. So that's coming, but I don't think we need, there's been no progress since the last time I showed you, so I'm not even going to put Evie through the trauma of putting it on. So there you go. There's the Weekender light. Now let's go to the next whip, which is just as great news. Okay, where are you? So you guys haven't even seen this one. I cast this on completely unintentional in my knitting queue plans. This is the Anacortes Pullover by Meshy Fraz Knits, and it is absolutely an amazing pattern. It is, the texture is just absolutely beautiful, and oh goodness, there's so many things about this pattern that are just to die for. And I thoroughly enjoyed knitting this, and I love the color. The yarn is Brooklyn Tweed Dapple in the colorway Medallion. It is a 60% merino, 40% organic cotton, and it's lovely to work with. The yarn is lovely to work with. The pattern is amazing. I randomly cast on this pullover because I found out about a cowl that was going on with a local designer, which is Michelle from Meshy Fraz Knits. And this is called the Anacortes Pullover, and seeing as I live in Anacortes, I was super excited to make it. And I'm still super excited to make it, and I'm even more excited to remake it because I am struggling, not with the pattern. And I mean, it looks gorgeous. The problem is like right now, so it's been in a bag for like 4 weeks because I'm mad at it. Looks great. It looks like it's fitting wonderful. But as soon as you start working with it or wearing it or touching it and it warms up at all, it just loses all its structure. And I think it's the cotton also. And I know Dapple does this, but I don't like, and it's funny because I did helical knitting, but you can still see very much see a line right there. So I have decided that I am going to frog this. And it makes me super sad because I love the color, I love the yarn, and I absolutely love the pattern. This detail right here is just amazing. I have broad shoulders, so I really like to, I found that drop shoulders tend to not look great on me just because they tend to bulk me up. Whereas this, for some reason, just highlighting the shoulder makes it its own structure, and I love it. But yeah. I'm so close to being done with it, and I missed the deadline for the cowl. I could have finished it within the deadline, but I just couldn't. It's so sad because you think it's looking so great, and right now, as I'm looking on it, it looks amazing. But I shit you not, this thing will grow. So I am going to frog it, as I said, and I'm going to get a better yarn that works better for this pattern. I will definitely be knitting this pattern. It is such a clear pattern. She does an amazing job. This is my first time ever knitting a Meshy Fraz Knits pattern, and she's amazing. And her eye for detail, it's gorgeous. Look at all this detailing. Look at all this texture. And I'm going to wait to frog it till after I hear from you guys after this episode, because I really do like it. It just grows and grows and grows, and I don't want something that big. If I do indeed frog it, I will most likely be using the yarn to knit the anchor tee, I think it is. And I didn't realize there's ribbing in that, but it's just up here at the yoke, and then it's just stockinette. So I think that this yarn will behave better in a pattern like that. Or there is the other option. I could drastically size this down, and then it will stretch into what I want it to be, because it looks amazing in this yarn. I love it. I absolutely love it, but this is killing me. I would hate to keep going. See, it's already growing. Like, look, it's growing. Help. Please help. Yeah, so I'm not going to do anything with it yet. I'm really bummed because this is, out of all the things I was knitting right now, this is probably the thing I was most excited about. I love the camel color. I love the pattern. I will be knitting more of her patterns. And especially, I just love supporting local small business. And so I'll be supporting the heck out of her. Yeah. Let me know. What do you think? I'm going to hold off a couple more weeks before I frog it, because, oh God, it's so pretty. So I have frogged it twice. I've tinked it back twice, and I've done the most I can at the size based on what I cast on that I can with this pattern to decrease it. So if I really wanted to knit it in this yarn, I have to go down a size so that I can still have this pretty detailing along the sides here without cutting it out in order to make it fit this detailing. Probably a little hard to see it, but I could easily, in this size, I could easily cut that out and make this thing a bit more fitted. But I don't want to lose that beautiful detail, which is why I'm contemplating sizing it down if I use this yarn again, which, oh, it's just so pretty. It's so perfect for the color is so pretty. So, okay, I think I've talked enough about this pattern. Sorry. Hold on. Oh, it's so painful. All right. Anyways, I love this color, and I was sad, which will explain my next cast on. So, as you can tell, since Evie is no longer on screen, obviously my next whip is not that much to talk about. However, it is in my world. Look at the color. All right, so yeah, I was really digging on this color this summer, which is why I went ahead and, hey, let's get back to all those yarn companies that are closing. Juniper Moon, not Juniper Moon, oh, I'm so sorry, not Juniper Moon. The Fiber Company, and this is Zero in the colorway Polaris. It is a cotton merino, cotton silk alpaca blend. It is a sport weight. It is such a great yarn. I'll have more details about the yarn up here, but unfortunately if you want it, you gotta buy it now because it's going away. Bye-bye. And this is one day gonna grow up to be the balloon cardigan. Now, what is so great about this pattern, that also, by the way, that I forgot to mention, that tailored vest pattern, that cream one with the pearls, this one, this holds true for this one as well. Both of these patterns, the way they are constructed, you are doing the button band as you go. So there is literally no finishing other than weaving in a few ends and putting on your buttons, which I can't, that is amazing. I love that when you're done, you're pretty much done. So yeah, there's really not much to show you other than I am about 6 rows from separating the sleeves off and joining. Yeah. It's really pretty. This is my focus right now. I need a win in this color. I really need a win in this color. Let me show you my mood board. I really need a win in this color. So yeah, that's it. I think that's also it for whips. Whatever I forgot. Oh, I do have plans for a few new casts on, but let's just save those for now. I'm just glad I got through this episode without crying. Just kidding. It's not that bad. It's just knitting. It's just, oh God, I hate frogging. But you know, it took me a long time, not a long time, I'm talking like I'm some master knitter. I'm just glad that I'm in that point of my knitting journey where I'm willing to frog back in order for something to fit me well. I don't want to keep making things for the sake of making them. I really want to build a wardrobe, a sustainable wardrobe that is made up of things that I love, and that I've made. So I'm really, as much as it pains me to have to frog these projects back in order to make them fit, I know in the end it's the right thing to do. And so, you know, we spent money on this yarn and we spent hours making these projects. So I don't want any more projects that at the end of it I don't wear once because I need to. I want to wear them all the time because I love them. So that's kind of the takeaway from this episode. Anyways, yeah, so we're going to skip acquisitions because, like, I don't know if I mentioned it, I am going to Fiber Fusion next weekend in Monroe, Washington, where I'm sure I will be purchasing yarn and fiber. So I'll have more to talk about in my next episode. And I have a few episodes planned coming up. I can't promise when they're coming out. Summer's a little bit busy around here, and also I just got done working the yarn shop. We had the local yarn shop day, and then we had the local yarn shop tour. Next weekend, or a week from now, is Knit in Public Day. This next weekend is Fiber Fusion. And then there's the Friends, which I love having them up, but that also decreases the amount of time I'm knitting. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me. It has been such a pleasure. Apparently the dogs didn't want to hang out. Well, actually there is one dog. He's snoozing down here, but he didn't want to hang out today. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Would love to see you next time. And yeah, cheers. Take care. Ha! You thought I forgot. I did not forget. So what I'm wearing is the Leela top by Caidree, and it is knit up in Juniper Moon Summer Solstice in the colorway Sunset. Cheers. Why is that one so hard to remember to do? Also, it's about 85 degrees in here now, so I'm gonna go ahead and check out for the day.